Yeah, hello, this is Dave from cheapbooks.com playing World of Tanks. In this video, you're going to have a bunch of short clips of some of the better action that I had and some of the RNG type thing, and I'm going to go over some tactics, some tactical things that occurred in the past week, and plus I've got 7 or 8 full games. I got one where I got 7 kills with a Type 4 Heavy, and I've got some weird games, a lot of flanking. And if you like these games, you should watch my other videos, for example, my spotting video. They're going to have a lot of cool action in it. So let's move on to the videos. This next clip is something that you'll see me talk about if you watch my videos. On this map, you're going to hear me talk about this tactic. The map is Live Oaks. Watch what the Foch is doing and watch where he's going. And I'm going to follow with him because I know the value of what he's about to do. There's a diagonal road, which is in the direction I occasionally pointed at it, and through that diagonal road, you can see where the VK is. He's about to cross over that diagonal road, and that diagonal road allows snipers to attack the VK. He's getting to the diagonal road right now, and the Foch, look on the mini-map, the Foch is at one end of the diagonal road, and the VK 4502B is at the other end of the diagonal road. And then you've got the AMX AC-48 who's sniping in the E2 position, and he can also shoot down that diagonal road. That's the first position that you usually get for your team to take shots at enemy tanks. And when I spot, I often come to this position, but this is the proper tactic that you want to use on this map. Watch what the Foch is going to do. You don't want to shoot through any sort of construction materials. It's better to knock it down with your tank. If you can't penetrate the side armor, you have to use high explosive rounds. That's your only choice. That's an APCR round. Obviously, I wasn't able to line up a shot. But the VK is now dead. The AMX 5120, which is right there to my left, he finished off the VK. And now we're going after the Foch. They only sent, apparently, 2 tanks to town. So they were lightly defended against our 6 tanks with a sniper. Now, if I hadn't been tracked, I would have gone for the ram. Unfortunately, I was rammed. You do want to get to the side. If you get to the side of that tank, then he cannot shoot. He can't aim his gun at you. But I just wanted to show you what the Foch did. That's a tactic that you want to use on this game, especially if you're outnumbering enemy tanks and if you've got sniping support. If you've got all those things in place, that's a tactic that you should be using when you play on this map. In this video, you're going to see something you've probably never seen before. Most people think that there's 2 ways to fire your gun using either the auto aim or the sniper mode, but there's actually a third way to do it. It's by zooming out and just moving the mouse pointer over the target until it lit the target and firing without using the sniper mode, without using the auto aim. And that's what I'm going to do right here. I do it about once every weekend or so, and I'm going to show you first how it works. Here we go. And you can replay it and watch it again, and you'll notice I did not use the sniper mode, I did not enter the scope, and you did not hear it say that I locked onto the auto aim and that it lost the target when the tank died. It's exactly what I said. I put the mouse over the enemy tank, and it showed green as a shot that was clear to make, and I just pushed the button to fire, and I fired at the tank. Now, this technique, it's useful at close range. Like if you're shooting at a tank, normally I wouldn't use it at a tank that's that far away. Usually only use it at close range. I've used it at long distances before. but it's not a perfect, it's not an aspect of the game that they programmed well. So if you're just starting out, you're going to miss frequently, and I've had a lot of shots that missed, but I've also had a lot of amazing shots. Again, no auto aim, no sniper mode, just put the mouse like that and fire the button. And like I said, even at close range, I've had some amazing misses, which I probably shouldn't have had. But that's a shooting technique that I think you should learn to use, because someday you might find a need for it. If you have to hit somebody really fast, and it takes a little bit more time to go into the sniper mode, and it takes time to, and the auto aim might aim at the wrong part of the tank that's obscured by a building, so that's why I use the technique. And like I said, if I play 100 games, I probably use it once out of every 100 games. Now, if you take a look at my position on this map, you can see where I am. You're probably familiar with this map. Look at the mini-map. And basically, I thought I would take up this position because I wanted to be able to flank some enemy tanks. Perhaps I was working on a mission, had to do an 8-kill platoon. And the other reason why is because my plan was, once it was cleared out, to go around that side of the mountain to flank behind the T-57 Heavy and the WZ. But someone else had a different idea in mind. What's interesting is that Tank is going to play as if he doesn't notice that I'm right behind him. He just keeps on driving, and I'm going to ram him. You always want to ram, unless you have like a really lightly armored tank. And you can see I took some damage from my allied SPG. Now in this game, I am playing the Ferdinand, and the map is this map called Tundra. It's 3 against 1. The final enemy tank is the E-100. There's my Ferdinand, the Grill 15, and the FV-215B-183. We got good guns. We can definitely kill that E-100. My allies are not going to play the greatest. It's not going to be the greatest gameplay on their part. What they should have done, as soon as they spotted that E-100, they should have waited. I was far away. They should have waited for me to catch up to everybody else before they tried to engage the E-100. The E-100 is relatively slow, but they didn't do that, and it almost cost us the game. You see the FV took a shot at the E-100, and he's now out of the game. Now the Grill is now a one-shot, and I have to make a choice. Is there a chance I can hit the E-100? What the Grill should do is lure the E-100 to come to where I am, or he should wait for me to get closer. I didn't know if I could hit that guy or not. And I predicted the E-100 would go across the bridge. So I decided to stay here. I wasn't able to get that shot to save the Grill. Now, when you're playing a turretless tank destroyer like a Ferdinand, you want to stay as far away from the enemy as possible. So if the E-100 were getting close to me, I would hit the reverse and just keep on reversing and reversing and reversing. Looking at where the E-100 is on the minimap, he's either going to come over the bridge, which is ideal for me, or he's going to come another way. And if he comes another way, I'm going to have time to react to what he's doing. He's going to make a fatal mistake. I'm a tier 8 tank. It looks like I hit him with an APCR round. He tracked me, but he's low on hit points. Now the mistake he's making is he's using the side scraping method. So let's see how it works out. And if you watch my videos, you know the tactic that I'm going to use eventually. What I was doing there is I was looking for the flattest surface so I can hit it perpendicular at a 90-degree angle. By minimizing the angle, it minimizes the chance I'm going to get a ricochet. That was my APCR round. So now I know with my APCR round I cannot penetrate his turret armor. I've got a penetration of 311. Maybe I can penetrate it. but it might be a 50-50 type of thing. He did 680 damage to me, really tough. I switched to HE rounds. Notice I only have 3 HE rounds, and watch what happens. I missed that shot. I've got 2 more left. I'm assuming that I have a faster reload than him. I'm not sure. He hit me, didn't do any damage. Did 44 damage to him. Got 1 HE round left. Got to whittle him down as much as possible. 239 damage. Hit him on the roof. My ally is advising me to use gold. He probably knew that I was using HE rounds. And it looks like I got a lucky shot with an AP round. I don't know if that was an AP round or not. You'll have to rewind and check. But I hit him right on the roof. And as you can see, what he did was a mistake. Because he had his roof exposed, he didn't realize that the angle of his tank and the elevation of my tank exposed his roof and his weaker armor. What he should have done was he should have gotten as close to me as possible. By getting close to me, all he has to do is get beside me, track me, get behind me, and there would have been very little that I could have done. If he had crossed over the bridge, I would have ran to the enemy side of the map and taken up a position there. And I would have stayed as far away from him as possible. After this game, I did receive a congratulation message from him. And it was a great game, and I enjoyed playing it. I would say about once per day, I kill a tank that is not spotted. You'll notice that the T-25 AT has 840 hit points. Let's watch what happens. So he's down to 311. You see that a shot just went in. I fired another shot. Saw a tree go down. Fired another shot. So remember, he had 311 hit points when we last saw him. And there he's dead. And it doesn't show how much damage I did on the last shot, the kill shot. But what the point that I'm making is, after he became unspotted, I fired 3 more shots, perhaps with a 4 to 5 second reload time. And I was able to kill the tank unspotted. Usually, you're only going to use this technique with ammunition that's not expensive. You're not going to do it with APCR rounds. And you're not going to do it with a tank that has very few rounds. I do have 16, 16, and 16, but there would have come a point where I would have just stopped firing. Perhaps I would not have fired another shot after that. But it's something you want to practice because you will get kill shots, and you might get more EXP if you kill an unspotted tank. I don't know if it's true, but it might be true. Now in this clip, you can see that there's a Batchat 25T in front of me. I just hit him with my final round. I might have done more damage to him. He knows where I am on the map. And look at where he's going. He's going through the train yard. And I decided to play a little trick on him. I backed into this little area while I was reloading. And I should be able to get some good shots on him. Because my prediction is that he's going to drive right by me. And let's see what happens. So you'll notice, I believe he fired 1 shot at me, and I was able to get 3 shots at him, plus do 320 fire damage, which is equivalent to a 4th shot. In this game, it's obviously Erlenberg, and we just won on the east side. We cleared it out. The score is 8-0, and I'm approaching a location that, and of course, a lot of my team is approaching this location. And watch what happens. Keep an eye on that Yag Tiger. So what the Yag Tiger did was he turned around and he drove right into the water. And the reason why people do this, they believe that if they do that, they want to deny the enemy team the right to kill them or damage them, because then you get less experience because you can't kill him or damage him. So that's one of the reasons why people do the suicide maneuver. But what they don't realize is when you suicide by drowning, it drowns your crew and you get 0 crew EXP for the game. Yeah, hello, this is Dave from cheapbooks.com playing World of Tanks. The tank is the Carnarvon. This is a British Tier 8 heavy tank, and the map is Ensk. I like this tank. It's you know, it's not my favorite heavy tank, but I like this tank. I use the 105 octane fuel to give it a little bit of extra power. I like the gun on it. I like the armor. I like the speed, the mobility. I like playing this tank. It's not the best heavy tank, but it's fun for me to play, and I believe that I get good games. Now, I have a good spotting range, so you want to spot the sucker tanks that are going across over here, especially these types of tank destroyers that have no turret, and you get that shot on the side. So I get the sucker tanks as they're crossing over. You got to be a little bit more forward into the trains in order to spot the full range. But that's the first thing I try and do, is try to get somebody crossing over. I used to play in the town, but I really don't play in the town anymore unless I'm coming from the north. But I do have a good town strategy. There's a position in the town. Right now, look at the spot in the town, in the middle of all the tanks, allies and enemies, that's empty. That's actually the best spot to be in. That empty spot between the E1 and the E2, absolute best spot. Now, I did this because I wanted to cause trouble for this T-69, because I knew that I could defend myself by hiding behind the train, and he could not get me because he can't cross over the train tracks, and I could get shots on him. Now, this IS tank and the T-69, you know, the IS is going to be playing smart. He's only going to come out after I shoot. And hopefully he's going to keep on ricocheting. But I'm sure at some point I'll be able to catch him. Now, the T-69 ran away, and when a tank that's an autoloader runs away, that's a sign that you should chase after him before he reloads. And you never know, he might do something stupid. Unfortunately, that wasn't a good shot, so I missed that tank. Wish I could have hit that IS through those tank whatevers, but you know, I got him smooth and easy. The Stir Emil, I don't know what he's doing there. Maybe he doesn't see me. I did 1,200 damage already. You notice that I turned my frontal armor towards the threat. The T-49, he's not going to do a lot of damage against that frontal armor, and you ram him. Did 456, 706 damage against him. So I did 706 damage against that T-49, and maybe he only did 134 he did 134 damage against me. So that was a good trade for me. I did get killed by the Su-152, who is that way. So he got a shot through there. But like I was saying, you know, I had my frontal armor turned towards the threat, and I always keep my frontal armor facing towards the threat, which means I'm turning my tank if they're trying to circle my tank. The score is 7-7. This was a fun game. I like playing this game because it's a different strategy going up the middle. Normally I go up where those buildings are, which is explained in my videos. But I only went up here because there were tanks over here. And there were a lot of vulnerable tanks. I got the 2 kills, such as the Stir Emil. That Su-152 was lucky to be in that position. But if you look at where the Su-152 is, he's not really in a position to hit anybody from there. That's not a good position for him, but, you know, that's the way some people play. Now in this next clip, I was playing higher up over on that corner, and I noticed that I had an ally over here who potentially could be in a 4-on-1 situation. There's another tank over there, an LTTB. So I went in to help him out. I'm going to show you what happened. Now you notice with the auto aim I miss, it's because of the high latency. And when you have high latency, you pretty much have to use auto aim because you really can't trust where the gun is pointing. You notice I do ram the enemy tank using the front of my armor against the corner of his armor. Now the WZ should hide his tank right now. He should not go out and take a shot because he's got very low hit points. And unfortunately he did, and the Skoda took a shot and took him out. It was the wrong technique. What he should have done is he should have let the Skoda hit me and then go in to take his shot. And then he would have gotten a shot in, and he would have survived, and he might have even been able to kill that Skoda. Yeah, hello, this is Dave from cheapbooks.com playing World of Tanks. The tank is the T-28 HTC Heavy Tank Concept. This is an American Tier 7 tank destroyer, and the map is Fisherman's Bay. For some reason, it looks like the map is a little bit smaller than I normally play with. I like to play the map as large as possible because I'm constantly watching the map. Anytime that I don't need to look forward, I'm watching the map to see where my allies are going, see what the enemy is doing, and I catch a lot of people trying to get behind me, and it gives me a good heads up as to what's going on. This is going to be a really interesting game. I'm going to get 3 kills, 2,000 damage. But what's interesting about it is I'm just going to drive forward in a rather open position. Just take a high-risk game just to see what would happen. Now, my theory is if you go on the west side along the red line, what's going to happen is all the enemy tanks are going to have their guns trained in that position. And we really don't have a lot of backup. You see we got the T-67 and the Panzer T-25. They're not... The T-67 is a decent tank. I decided, you know what, I'm going to see what happens if I advance along this other ridge. And look where I'm advancing on the minimap and in the game. Now, obviously, there's an OI in the distance, which kind of surprised me. And I got a lucky shot on that T-71. But I also spotted him, getting some spotting damage on the T-71. But I decided to go up this way because I figured I'd have less enemy guns trained in my direction. And you can see that there's a little bit of a slope in front of me. So I should be relatively safe. I'm a little bit low profile. I could probably get into that bush without being spotted. As you can see, I was not spotted getting up to this location. Definitely want to hit these tanks. I've got some allies that are advancing. I do knock down buildings. If I got a lot of rounds, I'll fire a round to knock down a building as long as it's not an APCR round. So you can see the KV-85, that's a good tank for its tier, is advancing. And I do have the SPIC. Now I'm getting into a little bit of a more dangerous position. Did a lot of damage to that OI. That OI is almost out of the game. But my theory was correct. Did a lot of damage to the Jagdpanzer. My theory was correct. Taking hits from all different directions, doing a lot of block by armor, but my theory was correct. I was able to advance, spot the enemy tanks, do some damage to them, and even though I am tracked right now, I'm going to get out of this little predicament. I took a random shot. There is a Churchill. No, not the Churchill. There are tanks in that area. I took a random shot to hopefully damage or scare somebody. Okay, so that's my first kill. The enemy is retreating on the west side, and we did win on the west side. What this should show you, they knew that the SPIC and the KV-85 and I was there. When they see that type of advance and they're taking that much damage that quickly, they should have retreated a little bit faster than they did. They should have done a little bit better, not necessarily to leave the flank, but to get into a stronger position to defend themselves. So you notice a T-34-85M appears on my left. I was a little bit slow to react to it. I got a clear shot on it, got a good amount of damage on it, took away half its hit points. Uh, 1,600 damage so far. I got 2,300 block by armor, 900 spotting damage. Got 2 kills. It's too bad that I missed that Churchill. Now you'll notice that when that tank was reversing, I did do a leading shot. When you do a leading shot on a tank, there's always a chance they might suddenly stop. I've had many games where I tried to hit a fast-moving tank, and he suddenly stopped, so my shot missed. So when you are aiming at a fast-moving tank, try to aim at the front edge of the tank if possible. So if he does stop suddenly, you can still get a hit in. So the score is 11-7. We did really well. We cleaned up on the west side, even though we lost on the east side. I'm sorry I didn't give you a commentary on the east side. But you can see now they're hiding into that corner. They've got 3 tanks left. SPG was just taken out of the game. Oh, it looks like perhaps he drowned himself. Oh, it says he was lost in battle, which means he probably fired against a building with a high explosive round and destroyed his own tank. And the Stir Emil drowned. So I would like to remind you, I got 3 kills, 1,900 damage, 2,300 blocked by armor, 1,100 spotting damage. When an enemy tank drowns, a Stir Emil drowned, when you do that, commit suicide, your crew dies when they drown, and you don't get any crew experience for the game. So it's not worth it. Let the enemy come and kill you. Okay, so that's the game. I just wanted to show you how I was able to go and take a different technique. I did a lot of damage in this game. I advanced my team. I was top tier. Most of the tanks were lower tier than me, and we were able to move our lower tier tanks and overwhelm the enemy. Yeah, hello, this is Dave from cheapbooks.com playing World of Tanks. The tank is a Type 4 heavy. This is a Japanese Tier 9 heavy tank, and the map is Paris. This is absolutely a wonderful tank to play. You can see I came out to see if I could get a shot on some enemy tanks. I got spotted, but I didn't see anybody to shoot at, so I decided to leave. And as you know, if you watch my videos, I normally don't play the brawling type strategy, so I never go on this side of the map. I really don't know what to expect. I don't know what the gameplay is like. However, I do have the Type 4 Heavy, and I'm probably working on a mission, HT6, a 2-course meal, destroy 4 enemy heavy or medium tanks. I am going to get 7 kills in this game. I'm going to do about 4,600 damage. And it's going to be a good game. And I think, I don't know if we're going to win or not, but it's going to be really close at the end. At the end, it's going to be like a one-on-one type match. So you can see we have the Emil and the E75, and the Emil is positioning to deflect with his armor, but I have high explosive rounds, so I'm not going to do a lot of damage, but anything that I hit is going to do damage. I just need to hit the edge of a tank. So I did 470. Oh, if you look at that shot again, I damaged 2 tanks with 1 shot. I did 475 damage to the Tiger II, and I did 4 damage to the Defender. If you want to rewind the video, you'll see that I hit both tanks with 1 shot. Now you'll notice I only did 182 damage. So far I have my full health. I blocked everything. I look to shoot the lowest tier tanks and anything that I can hit before I see his gun. It's a certain strategy that you want to use. The lower tier tanks I'm going to do the most damage by hitting a lower tier tank. 293 is not a lot of damage, considering that this gun, I believe it does as much as 1,400 damage. Let's check. It'll do 1,400 damage, but the rounds I'm using will do 1,100 damage. So the strategy you use is to hit any part of the tank if you're using a high explosive round, anything you can see. And you're going to see some great HE work here. That Chrysler, I mean, I did 285 damage. He's got great armor and he's side scraping, but it doesn't work against high explosive rounds. I'm going to do damage to his tank. There's nothing he can do about it. If he doesn't want to take damage, he's going to have to leave. And same thing with this VK. That side scraping is not going to work against HE rounds. I'm going to whittle him down. That was 361 damage, and I probably tracked him. I did have to wait for my ally to move out of the way because I don't want to damage my ally. I'm also a little bit concerned. I want to protect my allies because they're going to get on low health at some point. And I obviously have the strong armor. Now this side scraping that the VK is doing is just not going to work. It's going to be a complete failure for him. Same for the Chrysler. And I have that Chrysler. The frontal armor is awesome. But if you get flanked or anybody hits your side, it's not that great. So side scraping does not work against high explosive rounds. I have taken a lot of damage at this point. But I am going to hold through. We are going to win the game. Oh, actually, I don't know if we're going to win the game or not. The score is 3-7, but it's going to be a very close game. I do believe that we are going to win this game. The score is 3-7, but it's going to be really close in the end. And we're going to have to do some teamwork and cooperation and strategy. Okay, so they just took out the Emil. The defender took him out. Ideally, you want to hit tanks that expose yourself the least. So this T-26E4, I can hit him, and I don't have to worry so much about his allies shooting at me. And his armor's no match for my... okay, so I probably hit the ground. The Conqueror didn't do any damage. I did 1,900 damage, blocked my armor at this point. These guys coming around, they're not as bright as they think they are. At that point where that defender is a one-shot for me, a lot of these tanks are one-shots for me at this point. Looking to hit that side armor. Just gotta graze it on the side. It's not gonna ricochet. People don't understand side scraping is not a cure-all. So now I notice that the E75 is low on hit points, and I want him to reposition. I didn't say anything to him, but I was hoping that he would move out of the way and let me get in front. The OHO is low on hit points too. When you're low on hit points, you want to get behind your stronger allies. So I'm going to be careful. I'm watching. I'm not going to reverse as much because I wanted to keep my tanks in the game, but unfortunately the OHO was taken out of the game. These guys just have no idea what's in store for them. The defender, he's a one-shot for me. He's got to stay away from me, not get close to me. So he's out of the game. I accidentally hit the E75. It was a mistake. I didn't want to do that. You'll notice that the Conqueror used to have 800 hit points. He's now down to 10. So he's a high priority target. My allies are going to take care of resetting the cap. So that's 4 kills for me, 2,600 damage, 3,100 blocked by armor. I don't want the E75 to be in that position. He's too far ahead. What he should be doing is getting behind me. I am a little bit worried about my lower health, and I know that the FCM50T, he doesn't have a good gun on him. T26E4, he's a one-shot. Just gotta graze him. So now I only got 41 hit points left. We got a difficult situation here. The VK, I mean, these guys just don't understand. He's got a well-armored tank. But my gun will devastate his tank. I could destroy him in 2 shots. The FCM50T should be running. 505 damage. Like I said, all I got to do is graze him. Now you'll notice that the STRV is sniping along that line, so we cannot go any further without risk of being shot at by the STRV. And the enemy artillery is also lined up on that center column. So I'm going to, you know, I do want to go forward, but I notice that the STRV is on that center column, and I'm going to alert my allies not to advance. You got the GW Tiger and the STRV, that they should not advance on that center column. So we're going to reverse. We're going to have to find a way to take out these remaining 3 tanks. I got 6 kills, 3,300 damage. What's important about this game is even though my gun does 1,100 damage, I was only doing, there was my message, don't cross out in the open. So even though it does 1,100 damage, I was only getting around 300 per shot, unless I got lucky against a weak tank like the FCM50T, which did 505. I was able to take out a lot of tanks, and and I blocked a lot of shots. I blocked 3,700 damage. Did 463. This tank is absolutely worth it. So the E75 is in a risky position. If he gets spotted over there, The STRV might have a line on him. The STRV obviously is going to show up later in the game, but I don't know where or when. The guy's no match for his angle is horrible. I didn't do as much damage as I want to do, but he should really be at a better angle. He gave me a good side angle. Doesn't matter what angle he takes, I'm still going to do damage, about the same amount of damage to his tank. You see the STRV and the Object 704 meet in the center, and we're going to take this guy out. He's making a huge mistake. That angle is not enough to deflect my shot. I was able to do 350 damage while he tried to side scrape, but he doesn't realize I'm firing high explosive rounds. And his weaker side armor, all I have to do is touch it, and I'll do some damage. So he's going to be taken out of the game, hopefully. He's out of the game. So you can see I did 4,500 damage, doing only around 250 damage, 300 damage per shot. And I blocked 4,200 damage, so I blocked about the same amount of damage that I caused, and I got 7 kills. In terms of receiving damage, I received a variable amount of damage. I wasn't really keeping track, but I did take a hit for 463, 350. Oh, no, wait, that's the damage probably that I dealt. It's a little bit confusing, but I was taking damage from these tanks, and they definitely can damage me. What I could have done is I could have used side scraping, but because I had my allies alongside me, it was a little bit difficult. But that shows you how this game dominates with the high explosive rounds. It dominates. Once you get it, you're going to absolutely love it. Yeah, hello, this is Dave from cheapbooks.com playing World of Tanks. The tank is the T-26E4. This is an American Tier 8 medium tank, and I don't remember the name of this map. That's okay, don't worry about it. I am going to get 3,200 damage in this game, 2 kills, and I'm going to get 1,200 EXP, and I'm going to complete a mission, MT9, a worthy opponent. This is for the Object 260. Cause 2,000 HP of damage to enemy heavy tanks and destroy at least 2 enemy heavy tanks. Now this is the normal path that I take on this map. I come to this location, I'm going to head to that rock and the little spotting bush. You got to watch out where the FCM-50T is. That's the dangerous area. There's a lower bush which was in front of him, not as dangerous. Where the FCM-50T is the most dangerous enemy position that I've encountered excuse me, on this map during this approach. So I went to that bush, but I was already spotted. I did some damage to the T-30, spotted the Panther II. So now the T-30 is not going to hit me. I got to watch out for that Panther II. Okay. The Panther II is really no match for me. I have better armor, and when I'm reversing, I'm making sure that that rock is between me and the T-30. So if he wants to fire at me, he can't fire at me, because I make sure that that rock is always between me and the T-30. When I position to the Panther, I'm just going to sit here. I'm not going to go in the open, but the Panther's going to have other problems. I'm going to keep my eye on that T-30. See if I can get a position in between. Hit that weak. Oh, I missed that lower hull armor. You don't want to use auto aim against this tank. You want to manually aim for that hull armor. Clear shot. Now that's a tank that shouldn't be in the back. It doesn't matter if it's a tank destroyer. He should not be in the back. You'll see that the FCM-50T is coming after me, but he's also no match for me. I'm way better equipped than he is. You'll notice that as I turn my tank, I'm keeping my strong frontal armor pointed towards that FCM-50T. So he's going to have a higher time penetrating. He is bouncing off of me, and I am more likely to keep my gun trained on him. And I'm staying behind the rock so that the T-30 can't hit me. You see I've got an ally who is shooting at the FCM-50T. The T-30 is advancing, but he is low on health. And the FCM is, we've got the IS-6 sniping at me. I used a repair that fixed a track and repaired my gun. So it was totally worth it. Gonna go for that T-30, very weak. Use that sniper mode, and he's dead. So you can see that my team is controlling the middle of the map, which is very rare, but they're advancing through the middle of the map. So now I'm starting to get good situational awareness. I do have 1 kill, 2,000 damage. I need to kill 1 more heavy tank, and I killed my first heavy tank, which was the FCM-50T. Ideally, you want to get up over to the right as quickly as possible. That IS-6 is a target for me. I can get that IS-6 and take him out. And even though he has 513 damage, shoot at him immediately. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Don't wait for him to go down on hit points. As soon as you get a shot, take it. So you see, I unfortunately did not penetrate. Perhaps I should have used the sniper mode. But you'll also notice that if I hadn't fired using the auto-aim, I might not have been able to aim fast enough before my allies did kill off that tank. That's why I use the auto-aim. I fire my gun immediately, as quickly as possible. He had like 4 or 5 tanks running after him, so I had to get that gun firing as quickly as possible. The score is 12-2, and that was the lucky shot. I did 1,264 damage. I ammo racked that tank. My total damage was 3,223, 1,350 blocked by armor. The score is 13-2. I got my 2 kills. I completed the mission, and I'm going to survive the battle and win the battle, so I'm going to get it with honors. We are going to win this game. That IS-6 is only moments before he's dead. We're probably not going to witness his death. Okay, so that's how I did it, and that was a good game for me. Yeah, hello, this is Dave from cheapbooks.com playing World of Tanks. The tank is the M46 Patton. This is an American Tier 9 medium tank, and the map is Sacred Valley. I am going to get 2,500 damage in this game. More importantly, I'm going to flank the enemy. The way I flank the enemy on this map is I head for the central region, and I usually flank the southeast team. The slower tanks that are slowly making their way to the southeast. That's a very dangerous position where that TVP is. I take hits from that position. The other positions I'm not so worried about, but that's the one that you really got to watch out for. Luckily, I was not spotted. Advance carefully. You got to be wary of those enemy tanks. Got to be wary of that TVP. The TVP could easily come up over there, and I've got no one to back me up in this case. So you'll notice that I use the fuel consumable. It allows me to climb the slopes in this area. So we do have some targets already that we can flank, such as that Centurion. Haven't done any damage yet, but that side armor is really yummy. Great damage. He's turning his gun. He doesn't know where the damage is coming from. The TVP is too far away for me to spot me. So I am getting close to the TVP, but I don't want to get too close to him. I want to keep on focusing on that Centurion. That's good damage. 2 420 damage shots, and he has no idea where I am. Took a blind shot. You got to be careful with the blind shots, because it's going to fire a little bit further, because you're no longer aiming at the tank, you're aiming at what's behind the tank. So you got to bring your aim down a little bit on those blind shots. Oh, Foch, thank you. It's too bad that I flubbed that shot, but I had to fire because he would have gone behind. He was moving out of position for me to hit him, so I had to take that shot. You'll notice that there's a T-54 Mod 1 on my team. He doesn't look like he's in a position to hit anything, but if he advances, he can take the same shots that I'm taking. But he'll get spotted. So I'm still not getting a lot of hits, but these targets are just sitting there waiting for me to shoot at them. Ah! You can see that the enemy is advancing. You do have to keep your eye on that minimap and watch what the enemy is doing. The enemy has a strong position behind me, and if that flank falls, they're going to come after me. They're going to see me as a little green dot on that minimap. You see that the T-54 Mod 1 is coming around. He's going to be able to spot tanks for me, but he's also going to take a big risk because the enemy's going to see him and fire at him if he gets in the wrong position. So we've got a new tank that was spotted, which was probably spotted by the T-54, and we see the Foch. Look at what the Foch is doing. Oh, very risky here. Who hit me? Okay, so somebody hit me, but what that Foch is doing is a big risk. He never should have done that. I wonder where that T-54 E1 is. Look at that. Shoot and ram. Shoot and ram. Look at all that damage I did. Did 195 ramming damage. What do you think is going to happen here? That's why I got that extra engine power with that fuel consumable piece of cake. And I'm not using the expensive fuel consumable. Let him hit you. Oh, I'm sorry. Let him hit you, but you have to use your strong, you have to put your strong armor pointing towards the incoming tank. He is a tier 10 tank hitting a tier 9, so he is stronger. But if you have a strong tank and you're going to let him hit you, you want to make sure that he hits with his track, the corner of his tank hitting the front of your tank. So you have to position your tank for that to happen. And it looks, I don't think I let that happen. Something else happened in the ramp. But you want to position it again so that it's the corner of his tank that hits the front of your armor. And that's your best advantage if the enemy is coming in for a ramp. I did get 2,500 damage. The score is 5-7. But I wanted to show you how easy it is to flank the enemy. And it's like I said, look at that mini-map. Look at what happened. The enemy won in the northwest. The heavy tanks are advancing. And it's like I said, if that flank falls, they're going to come after me. And the TVP, he's a fast tank. He saw action going on over here, and he came after me. So part of it was my failure for situational awareness. I wasn't watching what was going on, and the TVP got me. Even though I was busy with the Foch, he took advantage of the fact that I was occupied. Okay, so that's the game. Yeah, hello, this is Dave from cheapbooks.com playing World of Tanks. The tank is the M46 Patton. This is an American Tier 9 medium tank, and the map is Overlord. I am going to get 4 kills in this game. I'm going to do 3,600 damage, 1,200 EXP, and I'm going to complete the mission MT14 Team Play. Destroy 8 enemy vehicles. I'm going to get 4 of them, and my platoon mates are going to get total up the remaining 4. And we're going to flank the enemy, and we're going to win this game, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to win this game. So you'll notice that what I'm doing is I am going to the red line, and this is the very safe position to go to. Once you advance beyond this, you have to be wary about where the enemy is. And you'll notice that the enemy is not challenging us. So I'm going to the next row. There's an open area, and we've got this AMX. The AMX is not a problem for me. Notice how I can hit that Panzer 38 Mutz. That's why you want this type of a position. A lot of people think you have to have hull down position and good depression over the front of the tank, but it's not true. On many maps, you can shoot over the side of the tank and still get great shots, but you got to shoot across the map, and you have to be positioned on a slope. So you can see I'm taking advantage of this position and rolling back for safety while I'm reloading. And I anticipate when I think I'm going to be reloaded, and I try to move forward into firing position so that once I'm in firing position, usually I'm reloaded again if I'm spotted. You can see it's very difficult to take that shot. It was a high-risk shot because my ally was right there. But I'm far enough away that they're not taking shots at me, and I have allies in front of me to confound them. Unfortunately, that was a bounce. You have to, when you see the silhouette, you have to hit the tracks. You don't want to hit the frontal armor, and when you see that silhouette, you can't tell which is the frontal armor and which is the tracks. So that's why I wasn't able to get anywhere. Got a great lucky shot. I already did 1,200 damage. My team has advanced on this flank, and we're going to keep on advancing. We're going to win on this flank. 655 damage. I cost 409 on that Emil. All using regular rounds. Now that T10, when you don't penetrate, I'm going to use high explosive rounds, not the APCR. I know that the AP rounds, I've switched to the high explosive rounds to go after the T10. I should get some good shots in. Shooting for the roof, the weak roof armor. Emil is perfect for high explosive rounds. Still using the HE rounds, gonna damage the Emil. Looks like I had 3 misses in a row, unfortunately. HE rounds are also good against light tanks. I missed again. That was a lousy shot, though. I screwed up on that shot. Okay, so I was able to take out the T10. If I used AP, I was probably going to ricochet, and even with APCR, I probably would have ricocheted. That's why I have all these HE rounds on my tank. I've got a third HE rounds. Emil 1, not going to ricochet with an HE round. You're going to do damage to that Emil 1. You can see that my targets have dried up, and I stayed in that position for a long time. And you know I like to play on the front lines. The reason why I didn't is because I had so many targets to shoot at. There was no reason for me to move from that position. If you have targets to shoot at, stay where you are, keep on firing. Keeping the high explosive rounds, however, on my next shot it's going to load the APCR. The high explosive will damage this tank, and it can do more damage. Shoot and ram, look at that. It did over 500 damage. And I took less than 20. Took 27 damage I received. And I did 500. Shoot and ram whenever you can. Lucky shot killed him off, 2 kills. The slope of the land is protecting me so that Lorraine can't hit me. HE rounds are great against the Lorraine. He looks like he's AFK and he's out of the game. Now that tank, you want to hit him when his gun is turned away from you and hit him on the side of the turret. Perfect shot right there. Hit those side tracks and you'll do damage, but he's out of the game. Scores 10-5. I've got 3 kills. I'm going to get some platoon mates here. I requested 2 other players to platoon with me. We've already got 7 kills between us. Need 8. Got a lucky shot on the Scorpion. Went right through that fence. I am using APCR, but I don't need them. I loaded up the APCR probably for the T26E4, but it's no longer necessary. Okay, so we've got an E75 in the game, a T26E4. I have the APCR rounds loaded. However, I'm probably going to be shooting at their rear armor or side armor, so I really don't think it's necessary, but we'll see what happens in the game. We do have 9 kills, enough for me to complete the mission. The score is 13-8. I did 3,100 damage, 2390 spotting damage, so I had an excellent game here. Missed that shot, total flub. Going for the lower hit point tank. I got lots of hit points. I don't care if they hit me. Got 4 kills. That's going to be my last kill for the game. You'll notice I hit the flat surface of his armor. And the reason why is because you want to hit a shot that's perpendicular. If you hit a little bit to the side, you can penetrate an angled piece of armor, but it can also ricochet. So I hit the flat surface in order to get that penetration. 3,600 damage. 2390 spotting damage, 4 kills, plus I completed the mission, MT14 team play. Yeah, hello, this is Dave from cheapbooks.com playing World of Tanks. The tank is a T-3485M. This is a Russian Tier 6 medium tank, and the map is Wide Park. I am going to get 5 kills. I'm going to do 2,000 damage, which is really good for a Tier 6 game, and I'm going to get 1,200 EXP, which is also very good for a Tier 6 game. I actually, I'd like to play in the middle of the map. You want to play where the bend is. You see where the Panzer 3K is? Where the bend is, you get a little bit of an advantage. But look at this spot right in front of me. You got this bush over here and this rail car. And this is a very important spot because you got a little bit of defense. You can roll up over the hill. You can shoot at the enemy. You got a bush to hide behind. You got that. It's a great position right here. So that's a great position right there where I was. And I can hit across the map. You do got to be careful because you are elevated and tanks can hit you if you don't get into a safe position. But I can also hit across the map over where that T-3485M is in the D1 area on the red line. He is not safe for me. Even though I'm a Tier 6 tank, the enemy tanks in this game are well armored for Tier 5. There's a lot of Churchills. So it's not going to be a piece of cake game. You'll see that there's a lot of enemy tanks on the west side, not so many on the east side. Because the T-14 is in that position and we don't have spotting in the backfield, that position that I was taking is no longer going to be as effective at this point in the game. But let's see if the Churchill does something stupid, you know what I mean? So I wasn't reloaded, so I missed the chance to hit that T-34 off in the distance. Could have done a lot of damage to him. That's not a smart position for that tank. Perhaps he's tracked, I don't know. But he's out of the game. That's 2 kills. You got to watch everything that's going on. You have to know when the enemy is going to crest over that middle because they're very vulnerable when they crest over. You can see that I took my eyes off that T-34 and he took a shot at me. If you'll notice on the minimap, the Churchill behind me, he's not in a vulnerable position yet, but he's really close. Very close to doing something really stupid. It looks like he's starting to advance. The Churchill is advancing. Not a smart move for him. Unfortunately, I missed a shot on that KV-1. You don't want to go over the front. You want to get over the side in order to get the gun depression. It's better. So the Churchill is going to show me his side armor. If he goes over, I'm going to probably get lots of great shots on him. You'll notice that there is a possibility of a crossfire, so you have to have excellent situational awareness. You're going to be spotted constantly. You have to know everything that's going on. Missed that shot, unfortunately. The KV-1, trying to get a lucky shot. And those tanks, if you don't have an upgraded engine, they're very sluggish. So he might have trouble getting up that hill to his disadvantage. You see that Churchill, what he's doing is not wise. Very bad angle for him. He's showing the whole entire enemy team his side armor. The great thing about auto-aiming is that even if he's behind a wall, I can still fire and hit him even though he's behind the wall. I can still keep my gun tracked on him. And he's out of the game. The armor was at the wrong angle, and the Churchill is making the same mistake the T-14 did. And he's out of the game. Improper angle to cross over there when you're spotted. Got 4 kills, 1,500 damage. Scores 10-7. You'll notice that my allies are starting to cross over. Crossing over means that the enemy is going to shoot at my allies that have crossed over. So that means you're going to have a lot of disoriented enemy tanks. You'll notice that there's a tree between me and that enemy tank. So at some point I'm going to become unspotted and he's not going to see me. I do have 4 kills. I'm going to get 1 more kill in this game, and it's going to be that T-3485M. But if you want that kill, you got to chase after those targets. You got to hit the gas, go after them before your allies do. And go for the shoot and ram. Almost could have hit my ally. Gonna go for the shoot and ram. Missed, flubbed that shot. Look at how I'm ramming him. my strong frontal armor, use a strong frontal armor hitting the corner of his tank to maximize the amount of damage. And I got an awesome shot on that slanted armor, and that's the game. Yeah, hello, this is Dave from cheapbooks.com playing World of Tanks. The tank is the VK4502A. This is a German Tier 8 heavy tank. It's also a premium tank. I believe, no, you know what? I don't know if this is a premium tank or not. It might not be. And the map is Prokhorovka. I really don't like this tank. I think the premium tank is a Tier 7. I don't like this tank. And I don't like the premium tank, and I don't like the one in the regular tech tree. But I believe you have to play it in order to get to the mouse or the Maushin or something like that. So that's the reason why I'm playing it. Now, this is a path that I used to take a long time ago. Works great in the lower tiers, a little bit more difficult in the higher tiers because you can get spotted easily from those snipers. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and set up a little bit of a sniping position. Knock down a bunch of trees, because I want to be able to shoot at them without them spotting me. So I'm going to knock as many trees down as I can so I can get the double bush effect. Wait for them to show up, hopefully get some shooting in. The problem is, I'm going to knock, I think, one more tree down. The problem is, the way they shape the terrain now, I don't know if I can hit those tanks. You know, obviously a while ago I could have, and obviously I'm spotting these tanks. But they really have to expose themselves for me to get that shot in. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get continuous action on these tanks. Haven't played this position in a long time. So we're going to sit here and see what happens. But from spotting damage, I've already got 602 spotting damage. One of the things I really like about, I optimize all of my tanks for spotting. I get spotting damage all the time just from sitting there doing nothing because I got great spotting range. Got coated optics, I've got situational awareness, recon, etc. Now, if there's not enough action, you're going to advance to the town. Knock some more bushes down. Try to find a new position. We've got enemy tanks over there that we don't see. And I do knock those trees down because, yeah, there's a chance that they might see the tree fall, but it's better to be under cover because they'll see the tree fall, but they won't see the tank. So I want the cover. Now, there is a good position, which is going to have to throw high explosive rounds against those turrets. So you see I'm switching to high explosive rounds. Even though it's not necessarily necessary because I do see his side armor. I only did 72 damage with that high explosive round. But he's a one-shot. So if this position isn't fruitful, what I do is I move next to the buildings that's between us and those tanks, and I kind of fire from there. The problem with the position that I'm in right now is you can get spotted by, for example, there's a WZ-111 in the middle of the map. Tanks in that, if I go too close to him, he'll be able to spot me. So that's the tank that I'm a little bit worried about. Getting too close to him. I've gotten spotted when I really thought I should not have. So really got to be careful when you're in this location. The cool thing about this location is that the enemy on the hill never expects you to be here. They expect you to be on the other side of the rail. I only did 60 damage, but it was an HE round. If I used an AP round, it would have ricocheted. The HE round does that damage, and I'm going to unload as much HE as I can. I am spotted, so I'm going to keep as many houses between me and him as possible. And my angle is not a good angle. It's very dangerous to have this type of an angle. He could really do a lot of damage to my side armor, and I don't want that. And I am obviously being spotted, have no idea who's spotting me. There is artillery in the game, and I do have to watch out for that artillery because I could get hit by artillery unless the rail is blocking artillery. Obviously, if the house is in the way and you need to shoot it down to get your shot, you shoot it down, but don't use APCR rounds to shoot down that house. where you are on the map. When you're shooting up at that hill, you can either be where I am, where the IS-3 is, or the T-10 is. The further away you are from the hill, the better the shots you're going to get. But you're also going to be a lot more vulnerable. So the T-10 is going to get the best shots because he's going to be furthest away. He's going to be able to hit over that ridge. He's going to see more of their side armor. From here, you can get shots across the map, but you got to be careful because they can shoot back at you. And that WZ-11 is going to keep me spotted. So I want to be away from, obviously also shot at me. I want to be away from the WZ-11, got to fix that loader. I guess I didn't notice that my loader was damaged. Oh, I didn't notice the damaged loader. You want to be away from the WZ and still be able to take your shots. Very dangerous over here. And look at that, there's a Carnarvon right there. Okay, so I just fixed my loader. You want your allies to take out that Carnarvon. Keep that, look at that angle. Got the gun pointed over the corner of that tank. That's the correct angle. No more than that. You see my my allies were able to take out the Carnarvon, so I'm going to head for the Carnarvon so that I can use him to block incoming fire from that Scorpion. Line up the Carnarvon between me and the Scorpion. And get close enough, hope to spot the Scorpion. I've got one tank that could potentially back me up and hit him. You have to be careful when you move a tank. If the artillery can hit you and he's watching, he knows you're there. Advance through the trees. Don't worry about knocking trees down. I just knock them down. You'll notice that if you look, I'm going very slowly. I hit the R key and I tapped it once. So I'm advancing at the minimal speed, which means as soon as I spot the Scorpion, I'm going to stop. It increases the chance that I'll spot him before he spots me if I have a better spotting range. I increased my speed to the second highest speed, and you'll notice that he's in front of me. He's been spotted, so I'm stopping my advance. He's out of the game. Score is 13-7. The only tank left is the artillery. I did 2,000 damage, 2,000 spotting damage. But where is that artillery? Oh, there he is. No shot on him, and he's dead, and that's the game. I hope you enjoyed the videos today. If you'd like to join my clan, it's called CBKS, and the clan for SPGs is called CBSPG. And if you have any questions or comments, please post below.